Welcome to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Come on to the theatre.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 46 of the Manx Theatre Podcast with me, Neil Callin. Thank you to everyone who's listened to our previous episodes. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome along and thanks for joining us. In this podcast, we like to try and keep you up to date with what's going on in theatre on the Isle of Man, chatting to the cast and creatives of upcoming shows to find out a little bit more about the shows and the people behind them, and also what our Manx-born and bred performers are doing further afield.
Coming up on this week's podcast.
I'm joined by two of my fellow cast members, Cain and Toby Smith, and director Darren Webb from the Service Players' upcoming production of One Man, Two Guvnors. You can still listen to all of our previous episodes through all the usual podcast outlets and at manxradio.com/podcasts. While you're there, make sure you give us a like and click subscribe or follow or whatever it is you need to do to make sure you never miss an episode. Well, it's been a while since our last episode back in March, in which I chatted to the cast of St Ninian's High School's cast of 6, and I have to say what a fantastic production that it was, where there were some really strong and well-rehearsed performances throughout, especially from Emma and Ava, who were unfortunately able to join us on the last episode. There's also been quite a lot going on since the last episode. Firstly, it was Madford's Easter Festival of Plays, in which the Service Players took home the silverware for Best Play in the One Act Festival, along with Best Stage Design, Best Supporting Actress Sarah Radcliffe, and a number of Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor/Actress nominations, all for The Photograph. And Cain picked up Best Actress for her performance in the Service Players' other entry, Lovers. Lisa Smith also walked away with the award for Outstanding Contribution to the Festival. Lisa has acted, directed and written plays for the festival for many years now, so it was lovely to see her getting some recognition for all of her hard work. In the Junior Festival, the Broadway Theatre Company took home the majority of awards, and in the full-length play festival, White Cobra Productions from Northamptonshire pretty much swept the board with their performance of Martin McDonagh's The Lonesome West. Following that was the Manx Festival of Music, Drama and Dance, or as the Guild as it's most commonly known, which saw many amazing performances, and Debbie Gooding win the coveted Cleveland Medal. Further afield, Sam Barks has had a busy few months. Not only did she complete her 600 performance as Elsa in Disney's Frozen at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane on Friday the 12th of March, but she also filled in for Elaine Page for 3 weeks on her Radio 2 Sunday show, had her own concert with the star-studded guests at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane on the 30th of May. Sam also appeared on what is now one of my favourite podcasts called The Last Show on Earth. This podcast is hosted by West End and Broadway legends John Owen Jones, who has played the Phantom, Jean Valjean and many other roles in Les Mis, and most recently he played Phil Hollinghurst, parodying Paul Hollywood in the Great British Bake Off musical, and Alistair Brammer, who played Chris in the 25th anniversary production of Miss Saigon, Prouvaire in both the Les Mis 25th anniversary production and the movie with Sam. Alistair also found fame, like Sam, in the TV talent show Any Dream Will Do, which was looking for a new Joseph for Bill Kenwright's new production of Joseph as an Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The podcast invites their guests, which include many of theatre's big names, including Matt Lucas, Aaron Tveit, who was Enjolras in the Les Mis movie, Carrie Hope Fletcher, Maz Murray, Michael Ball, and many others, to describe what would be their perfect last show on Earth to see before a giant asteroid hits and kills us all. They cast the show, say who they'd like to join them, choose their ideal interval drinks and where they'd go for their post-show meal, all littered with many humorous anecdotes of shows that they've performed in. It's available on all the usual platforms and I can fully recommend a listen. After all that, she also managed to squeeze in a month in Corfu as a judge on the new ITV show Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream, which, in a similar style to the BBC show I'd Do Anything, in which Sam first caught the eyes of the nation, seeks to find a new Sophie and Sky for the London production of ABBA musical Mamma Mia. Elsewhere, not only is Perry Day enjoying wonderful reviews as part of the cast of Guys and Dolls at the Bridge Theatre in London's West End, where Perry is playing Angie the Ox alongside Daniel Mays as Nathan Detroit, but it would appear he's also had a number of performances playing the lead role of Sky Masterson. Guys and Dolls is playing at the Bridge Theatre until the 2nd of September 2023. Make sure you keep up to date with what's going on between episodes by following Manx Theatre Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram and at Manx Theatre Pod on Twitter. Right, down to business. I'm joined in the studio today by my two governors, Cain and Toby Smith, and my other governor, Darren Webb, ahead of the Service Players production of One Man, Two Guvnors at the Gaiety Theatre in just a few short days' time. I know, that's a bit scary. So, here I am, one man with three governors. Toby and Michelle, welcome back. And Darren, welcome to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Buzzwham.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
So, guys, we're recording this on the Sunday at the end of TT. For us, we've got about 10 days to go, but by the time this goes out, we're just at the start of the week, just about to head into tech. How are things going for us?
I think they're going really well, personally. We're lucky to have a good cast, so, well, other than Toby, obviously. But yeah, no,
because
we're
I'm
in a good place.
superb.
We're just in a good place, I think.
So, Toby and Michelle, you're playing the two governors. Michelle, you are playing a split role.
Yes, I got a lovely split role of a female character portraying her deceased twin brother.
Yes, you're playing Rachel and Roscoe Crabbe.
I am.
So it's no secret from the start, really, that Rachel is in disguise. I think it's made clear pretty early on, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely within the first...
Yes, a certain character recognises you from the very start.
Yes, in the very
Lloyd,
first scene, yeah.
So, within a couple of pages you've been on it, it's clear, actually, you're a woman in disguise, so we're not giving away anything massive at this point.
No.
So.
And they're not identical twins, I don't think.
Oh, let's not get into that right now.
That's a bit of a touchy subject.
Let's not do that. You'll upset her.
So give us a little bit of background then to Rachel / Roscoe.
So Rachel and Roscoe are, as we've mentioned already, twins from the East End of London. Roscoe fell into the gangster scene, whereas Rachel was a more sweet and innocent character.
But Roscoe getting into a bit of trouble, has a bit of an argument with Stanley Stubbers, who is Toby's character.
Yeah, so Stanley Stubbers is he's very far back. He's probably ex-forces. He's a jolly good chap, boarding school trained, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's not perfect by any stretch of anybody's imagination. He's a bit of a naughty boy, and he can get himself in over his head on occasions. But yeah, he's very much in love with Rachel and searching for her wherever she might be.
So at the start of the play, then, or sort of the prologue to the play, or even before that, there's been an argument, and Stubbers has killed Roscoe.
I think Stubbers won the argument.
Yeah.
And some of the text suggests there was perhaps a tiny bit of premeditation even in the winning of that argument. But surprisingly, or maybe not actually, for those of us who have brothers and sisters, his sister doesn't seem that bothered about the fact that he came off second best.
And because of that, then, Rachel and Stanley, they're on the run from the police. Indeed. And they're trying to get themselves out of the country, and they're heading off to, God forbidden, Australia, home of opera and an outdoorsy life fueled by lager and barbecues.
Barbecues.
Yeah, horrendous.
Terrible.
Awful.
It's been a bit like the Isle of Man this week, actually.
Just without the op.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had the sound of bikes, the roar of bikes instead.
There you go.
But they're obviously on their way to Southampton to board a ship, because it's 1963. So they're about to board a ship for Australia, but obviously the ports are busy looking for Rachel and Stanley. So they've decided to hold up in Brighton beforehand, because it's close, but it's safer than actually being in Southampton, where the police are going to be looking for them. And whilst they're in Southampton, they call in on
Charlie the Duck, who they are going to definitely swindle out of a bit of money that was owed to Rachel's father.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to try.
Yeah.
But in order to swindle somebody out of money, they require money.
Mm-hmm.
And as the play goes on, we find out really how wealthy that man is.
And whilst in Brighton, they call upon... Well, I think actually because they've met Henschel in London, haven't they? Rachel / Roscoe, whilst in disguise, comes across Thomas Henschel, not Thomas Henschel, that's my father, against Francis Henschel while he's busking in Victoria Station, and nuts a fella, and she hires him as a minder. Yes, so it takes him off into...
Is he quite muscly?
Well, it's all fat, really. His
just
method,
just a bit of padding.
Yeah, just a bit of winter warmth.
He can handle himself.
Yeah. And then whilst Henschel and Rachel or Roscoe are hiding up in Brighton, he bumps into Stanley Stubbers and finds himself a second employer in there.
Well, Stanley needs a Batman. He's not used to having to handle the day-to-day realities of life by himself. He needs a man, really, to help him with that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's on the lookout for one, and then lo and behold, Francis comes on the scene.
And from this point on, he's one man with two governors, and hilarity ensues as he tries to keep the two governors apart who are actually trying to find each other. And yeah, he's not the brightest lad, is he?
Which one? I don't think any of them are that bright, to be fair.
Well, no.
I think Rachel is probably the brightest in the cast by some distance.
Yeah.
Although that's not saying a lot.
Are we talking
To be
the
fair,
cast
none
of
of them have
characters?
got real malice in it at all, really.
No.
It's
No.
just
No.
it's just a really
I mean, there is
fun
some murder.
circumstance.
But malice.
Yeah,
It is made clear that it was accidental, but planned.
It was accidentally.
It was
on purpose.
accidentally on purpose.
Accidentally on purpose, yeah.
I'm not allowed to do that. But
So, Darren, then,
Yes.
you are the director of this wonderful production.
I am indeed. Yes.
You've done a few one acts before, but this is your first full length.
Yep. First full length. Yep.
So, what then has been the most difficult part in directing Toby Smith?
Not throttling.
how
him,
long
possibly.
have you got?
No, to be honest, it's been quite a dream because I was away for 2 weeks of it, so I didn't have to do it all. But no, the casting process was great. I basically got all the cast I wanted, so I was very, very happy with that. And it's just been really just the juggling. It's not something I've had to do before, where I'm having to look after everything or have a thumb in every pie, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, there's about 15, I think, or so in the cast, isn't there? So it's quite a big cast.
Yeah, big cast. There's a lot of requirements for things like props and set, etc., etc. But we've really pulled back on the set because it's such a character-driven play.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go mad with the set. You know, when you go to some shows, sometimes you just wow at the set and you don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to the characters. But the characters in this are so sort of strong, very, very definite characters.
And I think
they do drive it.
Yeah, and if you were going for a production that was going to be running for 6, 12, 18 months, then, it would pay for itself. But for a short production of sort of three, four shows, it's a big expense to go in for just that such a short run.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, the I don't want to sound like I'm blowing their trumpets, but the cast are so strong, they are going to nail the characters. And yeah, I think the audience are going to be really, really surprised at the level of character they bring to it. It's not just a case of reading some words off a page. They've all thought about the characters. They've all rounded and shaped them to not imitate the shows that have been done before, but they've certainly put their own stamp on it.
Yeah.
And the characters that come across are superb. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited to sit and watch it.
So this show then, One Man, Two Guvnors, it was first done back in 2011 at the National Theatre.
Yep.
And it was written by a man called Richard Bean, and it was based on a piece of old Commedia dell'arte from about 1472 or 1742?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. 1743. And the original piece was called The Servant of Two Masters, or, if we're going to be flashy here, Il Salvatore di Due Patroni. To give it its original Italian title.
No mozzarella with that, thank you.
Heavy on the parmesan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that was a play originally by a guy called Carlo Goldoni. Commedia dell'arte, for those who know, for those who are out there, the Guardian readers, the hummus eaters. It's based around a lot of improvisation. There were some very specific characters and there were very specific stories, but a lot of what they did was all based around improvisation. And then there's a lot of improvisation within this script as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, a lot of the words that come out of the cast's mouth don't show in the script. Toby Smith, but no,
that's for a different purpose.
Yeah, no, it's one of those where it's really difficult to stick to the script because it's of a time, and the actual scripts have got some terrible spelling mistakes. But that's a whole different story. Yeah. But no, it's a really good play. You can have fun with it. It's a roadmap, not a specific route. Yeah. So you can play with it. There's some very detailed scenes with a lot of quick fire exchanges, and then you've also got some lovely pauses with some real physical stuff as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's a real fun one to direct because it's got a bit of everything.
I mean, there are some sections, certainly for myself as Francis, where it literally just says 2 lines, wrestles with trunk, gets a couple of members from the audience.
Exactly.
But that actually turns out to be about 7 minutes worth of theatre. Yeah. So
it's classic farce as well, though, isn't it? That's what I like about it. Is it's farce, but it's farce that feels a lot more modern.
Yeah. And you've got, especially with the dining room scene, there's a lot of doors opening, doors closing, people going in and people going out. And
my favourite part of it, though, is the amount of fourth wall breaking that goes on.
Yeah.
There's so much audience involvement, not necessarily just with some physical stuff, but also being kept up to date with how the characters are feeling or what they're doing. And you don't get that in a lot of shows. A lot of shows it is just confined to the stage. This is a lot nicer.
Yeah, everyone talks to the audience at some point or other, don't they?
Yeah, everyone's got words to the audience, which is great because it does get them involved. And yeah, I just think it's going to be a really fun show for people to come and see. They're going to walk out definitely with a smile on their face. And yeah, really, really looking forward to it.
I think you're right. I think that makes the play a lot more comprehensible. Actually,
yeah.
I think it really helps people to understand. Not that it's a complicated plot, because it's not complicated, but sometimes when you go and watch a play and you think, why has he said that, or what's going on there? And there's any point that's like that, it's really well explained. So everybody's kind of up to speed all the time.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of language, but there's nothing in there that's offensive.
No, not at all. No, it's a clean, wholesome night out mostly.
I mean, I would say probably high school kids. I wouldn't say
certainly
bring it.
they'd
wouldn't
have
bring
fun
it.
with it.
Yeah, I'm not bringing my primary school kids
No,
to
I
it.
wouldn't bring mine.
No, but yeah, I would say sort of teens upwards.
Yeah.
It would be definitely suitable. It's not one that you would want an 11-year-old maybe going to.
No, but nothing worse than they probably hear at school already anyway.
Oh no, they probably hear a lot worse at school.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good physicality in it as well. So there are some, as Toby said, it is a farce.
Yeah.
There's a lot of physicality from certain characters.
Don't I just know it?
Yeah, and we've tweaked it a little bit. We've made some little wee changes. So we've changed the gender of one of the characters. We've expanded on one of the characters as well to give them a little bit more of a story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a really nice version. And as I've said already, we're lucky there's no James Corden involvement.
Yeah. Do you know this? It's not until I've always liked this play, and when I saw it on the National Theatre at home, I was like, oh, that's amazing. I was like, that is a play that I would have loved to do at some point. So then when it came up 6 or 8 months ago that we were considering it, it was like, oh, yes, must do this. But it's not really until I started rehearsals with it and realising how much that I really loved it that I realised that this for me that's a bucket list role ticked and done. That's
it's a cracking character.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Such a good character.
So much fun on so many different levels as well.
I'm still finding little bits.
Yeah.
Finding little bits.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh right, that's why they're doing that, and that's why he's saying that, and yeah, it's well written, really well.
It's really well written. Yeah.
And I love Alfie as well, and his hearing problems, and trying to work out what it is that he thinks he's heard.
I'm not sure he was even on the same wavelength. Though.
No.
No, he's the fun character. Yeah. We've given him a little bit more fun stuff as well. So
I'm not sure if I'll ever work out what he was thinking about when he said they had to put paper down because I had eaten a banana. I just
no, it's so random. But
as I say, it's not related to anything that any of the characters have said. No, he's just talking about his day.
It's like what's he thought he's heard. So anyway, looking to the rest of the cast, then we've got Charlie the Duck. Charlie Clench is played by Jeff Pugh. Mm-hmm. Who is a top man.
Absolutely.
Oh, we love Jeff. Yeah,
and service
Jeff.
Players regular.
Yes,
and fresh from, well, I say fresh, I think he's had a shower. So from playing the monster in Young Frankenstein earlier this year with the DCU.
Yeah, very good in that.
Which was fantastic. Pauline Clench, his daughter, is played by Bethan Owen. Mm-hmm. Harry Dangle, his solicitor, is played by Chairman Chris Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's a service plays production, so we have to have one of the Cains in.
Oh, I see.
Oh, we managed to get both.
It seems like a well,
in fact,
yes,
potentially 3.
Well, yes, actually, yes, we had 3. Yeah,
this could be a family affair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So his son then, Alan, is played by Andrew Dayton. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see Andrew in a lead role.
Possibly the role he was born to play.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Oh, it's definitely Andrew all over.
And he's loving it as well. He's having a lot of fun with it.
He's having a lot of fun with it. And just to give him a nice big tick, he was the first one off book as well. Just saying.
And his knife work is spectacular.
Oh yes, the knife work is ridiculous.
Yeah, some of us have got a lot of dialogue. I've got more lines in one scene than some people have got the whole show.
True story.
Yeah. You've probably got more lines than everybody else put together.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, Dolly. So Dolly is Charlie's bookkeeper, and she is played by Sarah Elder.
Mm-hmm. The lovely Sarah.
And she is also Francis's love interest.
Mm. Oh, he's crushing bad.
Fun fact, this will be the 3rd, if not the 4th time that Sarah and I will have played romantic leads against each other.
Yeah, she has raised that. She did raise that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Funny how it
we
goes,
keep getting paired together. It's
absolutely
interesting. So Lloyd, now this is one of the characters that we've changed a little bit. Mm-hmm. Lloyd is traditionally played by an Afro-Caribbean actor. However, there's not a great deal of those around on the Isle of Man, unfortunately. So he's being played by Dr. John Snelling. Dr. John, and we've turned him into an East End gangster to be part of Charlie's gang, yeah?
Yeah. It was more, I think it fits better.
Yeah.
I think it just comes across, whoever it was had to be part of like the East End gang scene. And certainly I think the character John's developed really does fit quite well.
Yeah.
Very open, very honest sort of guy. Says what he means. Got a bit of a eye twitch as well. But yeah, no, really good character.
Yeah,
really good character. Yeah, John smashes it as always. So.
Yeah, Francis Henschel, we won't talk about him.
Rubbish.
Rachel Crabb, Stanley Stubbers. Yeah, the less said about him, the better. So Alfie the waiter.
Howard Cain,
and this is a wonderful piece of of physical acting again, some acrobatics, and so Alfred is the doddery old waiter working in the restaurant at the Cricketer's Arms.
And he hasn't been working there that long, actually.
No, it's his first day, isn't it? I mean, what, he's 86? No, he's 87, isn't he?
I can't remember.
He's 87.
He can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he
Not
falls
in a well
foul
way,
of.
is he? He's not a well man.
No, he falls foul of doors and stairs, and yeah.
He's remarkably rubbery, though, for an older chap.
Yes, he's very, very. He's a bit like a weeble. He wobbles, but he doesn't fall down. Or if he does, he gets straight back up again. So he's a good character.
He's made of stern stuff.
He's definitely made of stern stuff.
Obviously, been on the Cod Liver Oil just to keep him supple.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
Those yoga sessions help.
They would definitely help. Yeah.
The other character we've had to change slightly is the head waiter. Normally Gareth, but we've changed
We've
it to
now got
Gabrielle.
Gabriella, which is the lovely Viv Toro.
Yes.
Who's just such a funny actress. There's no one rehearsal where we haven't laughed our asses off. So, can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that. We've laughed a lot. There's been a lot of laughter.
There has been a lot.
There has been a lot of laughter.
Mainly at Toby, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because of Toby.
Because of Toby, yeah.
Oh, and just one shout out for a non-member of the cast, but my AD, the lovely Rachel Jockin.
Oh, yes.
She's been an absolute superstar.
Yes.
Because unfortunately I did take a holiday right in the middle of rehearsals, and I came back to find us in a much better place than when I left. So
yeah, she's got a real mean streak, actually.
Yeah.
I was
Has
quite
she?
surprised by how mean she is.
Really?
Which is, I'm assuming, what you wanted.
Well, I didn't have a clue.
It's what was needed to
Very
keep
stern.
Toby in line, though.
Yeah.
Nobody keeps Toby.
She's
in
got a
line.
good whip arm.
Oh,
Yeah, strong
that's
whip
far
arm.
too much information, Smith.
No, Rachel did a brilliant job whilst you were away. That she really helped us knock the edges off some of those scenes and get them
She
going in
doesn't
the
take
right
any
direction.
nonsense either.
No,
No.
she doesn't. She's quite a firm hand.
Yeah,
from
she's a
what I
firm
hear.
hand, yeah.
I'm just the light and fluffy one.
Good cop, bad cop.
I like the way you sent that in a really light and fluffy way as well.
Yeah.
Then we've got a number of other small roles to be filled in. So there's a barman, which is Rachel's son Callum. There's a taxi driver played by Bob Witcher.
A few coppers.
There's
There's an old lady who's going to be Viv as well. So
Yep.
she's doubling up. And also there's going to be the changing cast every night. The audience participation
Yes.
aspect.
Yes.
Which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, like this is one of those sets where there's big sections of chatting with the audience, and as much as they like to be improvisation and off the cuff, I've got lots of things in my brain that I've been working on. Let's talk about the sandwiches, and there's the case, and there's
all sorts.
There's all sorts.
Yeah, so when they go to say, what's the runtime going to be?
We don't know.
Well, yeah, we don't know.
We really don't know. It's
Give or take 15 minutes, depending on what kind of mood I'm in.
yeah. And
How
what kind of mood-
gobby the audience
Yeah,
is.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say how chatty the audience are.
Yeah, the matinee might be a bit shorter than the evening session because it might be saved.
That's true. Yeah, it all depends on how quick Alfie works, really, doesn't it?
Yes, I mean that's
And
yeah.
we've also got live music in it as well.
Yes.
which is nice to add in as well, just to build a bit of the atmosphere for the time. So that should be good fun.
Yeah, so they're going to be playing a lot of sort of skiffle, rock and roll
Yeah,
type
so
stuff, just to
give
sort
rock and
of
roll songs just in between each scene and before and after. And there's a really vicious room that the cast might be singing as well.
Indeed.
Over-rehearsed, I think, on that, really, if anything, is my concern.
You're over rehearsing it.
Over-rehearsing the song.
No, we're leaving it till the last minute because then it's fresh in your mind, you see.
Oh, I see.
Oh, is that how it works?
That's what I'm told.
right.
That's what the book said. Do the song last. So that's what I did.
You're listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast with Neil Callin.
Right, okay. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's just see how much attention you've been paying to
quiz time.
rehearsal over the last few months. So we've got a little bit of a quiz here. So if you want to get your paper and pens ready, we've got 8 questions.
Are all the questions about me?
No.
Oh, dear.
Always all about you, Toby. You know that.
So some of them are definitely related to our production. Some are to do with the script. Some are general knowledge about the play itself. So we'll see. And I would say that probably the majority of them, with the exception of maybe 2, we've probably already talked about.
Oh.
So
You've got a chance of not getting
hint
it.
here.
So it depends on how much attention you've been paying for the last 20 minutes. Right, okay. Question number 1.
Numero uno.
Dun.
Which character has the first line of the show? Oh, I think Michelle's looking a bit smug there. I think Michelle knows what it is. Darren's got it as well. Toby looks like he hasn't got a clue.
So he looks like he's been looking at my sheet.
I'm not in that scene.
That's no excuse, Toby.
Even
as
more
he's-
reason that you should be paying attention.
Well, and the fact he's normally late for rehearsals, he probably wouldn't have seen it that much.
Slander.
I went there.
It's only slander if it's not true.
It's
Yeah.
efficient timing, though, if you're not in scene one.
Well, you should be practicing your lines. Okay, question number 2. Who has the last for line of the show? And for both of these questions, if you know what the line is, there will be a bonus point. Ooh, everyone's scribbling. Oh no, Michelle's looking a bit. And I'm not going to include the song, so it's before the song.
Okay.
Right, question 3. Who wrote One Man, Two Guvnors? Oh, Toby's looking smug with that one.
But where's he really been?
I think he's just playing nuts and crosses there by himself, actually. Yeah. Right.
Amazing.
Okay, this one's a little bit tricky. The original National Theatre production was staged at which theatre?
Ooh. That's...
That's just sneaky.
Because it's not the National Theatre. Well, it is the National Theatre, but there are several theatres within the National Theatre. So which theatre? Okay, number 5. Harry Dangle is very fond of spouting a bit of Latin. But what does Ars Amandi mean? Or Ars Amandi?
No, Pauline.
Right, are we done?
Yes.
Okay, and question number 6. What is the name of the original piece of commedia dell'arte that One Man is based on? Bonus points for the Italian translation. Are we done?
No.
Is someone cheating with a phone over there?
Only if they've been prepared.
I call a Wikipedia deduction. That'll work against you, Smith.
Question number 7. What is my character's full name?
I'm even saying it in a voice in my head. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, question number 8. This is the last one then. How many things is Francis seen to consume during the play? Now, I'm not going to talk about his stash and everything that he's got in there afterwards. What is he seen to consume during the play? I can see Toby's brain busy trying to count and work his way through
Stop
the script.
pretending I have a brain.
You know the bit in Friends where Joey's doing his acting class and it's working about how to be confused, and he's like dividing 365,212 by 13. That's what's going on in Toby's face right now.
You see a little abacus moving things getting yes.
Right.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
No.
It's quite a long list.
I was going to say I have more to write.
It's quite a long list, actually.
I'm still in Act 1.
Just not the first scene.
Oh, that's a cracker.
Yeah. Are we done?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That'll do.
Don't worry, I'll edit some of this silence out. Okay, let's have the answers then, shall we? So question 1, which character has the first line of the show?
Harry Dangle.
Charlie.
I thought it was Charlie.
It's Harry Dangle.
Damn
And he
it.
says,
Alan and Pauline, or Pauline and Alan.
happy engagement, Pauline and Alan.
That was close.
So that's 1 for Darren,
Boom.
none for Michelle, none for Toby. Question number 2, who has the last spoken line of the show?
Stanley Stubbers.
Stanley Stubbers. Yummy.
It is yummy.
But Charlie. I rounded it off nicely to start and finish.
Okay, so so far that's 2 for Darren, 1 for Toby,
I'm outnumbered here, okay?
none for Michelle.
I'm outnumbered.
Question number 3, who wrote 192 Guvnors?
Richard Bean.
Richard Bean.
Oh, Michelle.
Carlo G or something.
She's got the
Carlo
Italian
G or
one.
something.
Yeah, Carlo G or something.
I like that.
Carlo
answer.
Goldoni.
I
Well, I
prefer
think that's
that
worth
answer.
half a point.
Well, yeah, we'll give you half a
Half
point for that.
point.
Half a point. Because he wrote the play that it was based on.
Fab.
Yeah. Okay, question 4, the tricky one. Which theatre was the original National Theatre production staged at in 2011?
Complete guess at the Haymarket.
Littleton Theatre.
Brighton.
That's no points all around because Toby cheated on Wikipedia.
Yes, that would be why.
I think when you're doing some kind of test, part of the test is, can you prepare? Can you prepare for the test?
You can't take
and
the
if you're going
preparation
to
in with you.
anticipate what some of those answers might be, I think that's fair.
But referring to a device is probably... Would you
I
do
think
that
that's
in a
fair.
quiz?
Oh
In a
my
pub
god!
quiz?
My god! Yes.
What a stupid question. Public schoolboy history.
Okay, question 5.
I demand the marks.
Harry Dangle is fond of spouting a bit of Latin. But what does Ars Amandi mean?
The art of love?
I put to love, but
I didn't get it.
It's the art of loving.
oh,
Close enough, Darren. I'll let you have that one.
Oh, I'll help you with that.
Toby gets -3 for that one. So.
I'm not doing that well. I'm going to make it up on the food round, though.
You've definitely got more than me, so it's fine.
Toby and quizzes, not his strongest point.
Music,
But
a
don't
music
worry, I've got a
quiz?
way round.
I can do a music quiz.
Oh, yes. I
Just
love a
not,
quiz.
you know.
Actually, we should do one of those.
Question 6. What is the name of the original piece of Commedia dell'arte that One Man is based on?
The Servant of Two Masters.
Il Servitore del Due Mastero.
Oh, bingo.
Oh, 1 servant, 2 gentlemen.
We'll give you a half for that one, Michelle.
Also known as...
Toby gets that right.
I mean,
Two
maybe I should
And
have
Darren
been
gets a
cast
bonus
as
point for saying it in
Pauline.
Italian.
I got the Italian translation.
He didn't say it. So. Question number 7.
Maybe I should have been cast as Pauline.
Question number 7. What is my character's full name?
Oh, we
Michelle?
must all have got
Francis Confidential Enschel.
Francis Confidential Enschel.
Toby?
Francis Confidential
He
Henschel.
certainly is.
Hey.
Right, and number 8 then. How many things is Francis seen to consume during the play?
I've got quite a few.
Yeah.
So I've got some 9
Just
chicken
go
balls.
for the no, just the total number of things.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
I
got
thought you
at
were looking for the
least 6.
individual things.
I've got 8.
You've got 8.
I've
okay.
got about 6.
Yeah, I'm probably about 8.
I've got 6, but if you want to count the individual chicken balls, it's then 14. So he has peanuts,
Yeah.
Peanuts.
the Minesweeper cocktail outside the pub.
I put
Yep.
pint of dregs.
And
I'll put the mixed
I
drinks
included
in
in
fact.
that, so I got that, and I also got 8 a cigarette end.
Yeah, I've got fag.
No, he
as
doesn't
well.
drink that. He doesn't eat the
But
fag.
it goes in your mouth, so
it-
you've consumed it, but taken it out again. But it's part of the mixed drink, so that's...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, pint of dregs.
The letter.
The letter, yeah.
Oh,
the letter for Stanley.
Come on.
And then when we get to the dining room scene, there is the soup,
The soup.
the pepperoni, the sliced
Cold
donkey,
Oh, sliced
Yep.
donkey.
and 9 chicken balls.
But
And
he also...
he eats veg.
And
See,
he eats
I've-
the roast potatoes.
And the cheese on the mousetrap.
Well played.
Oh, well played. Yes, yeah. 5 bonus points for the cheese.
See, I lick the cheese, but I didn't.
I also had Dolly on my...
It's not that sort of show till Saturday.
Going to say, which food sort of component group would you put her in?
Protein.
Mushroom.
Is that because he's a fun guy?
Hey!
Oh, right. So I think let's try and work out how many we've got there. So
I'm pretty sure I won.
Yeah, I think I only got 3.
Toby, you've got -6. Toby got 4.
Toby got 4. Toby did good.
Michelle got 2, and Darren got 1, 2, 3, 6 points for Darren. Darren's the winner.
I think I was done.
And you would hope that the director knows the
You would
most
hope
about
so,
the
yeah.
play.
It would have been a bit of a disaster if I hadn't.
Well
It's
done.
okay, the nice guys normally come last, so I'll take that.
No, it's a family show. Don't worry, we're not going,
Not going
there.
there. I did have a tiebreaker question in case anyone.
Ooh,
got
let's
to
do it,
that
let's
as
do it,
well.
let's do it, let's do it.
So how
Hang on. Winner takes all.
Yeah, winner takes all.
Okay,
Okay.
what's on the table?
How are we going to do it, though? Is it going to be written down?
Yeah, write down.
Okay.
Write it down.
Okay.
And then I'll ask you to show
Are
me
you
your-
allowed to research?
No.
No.
Just to qualify.
Phone,
Phone
phones away.
away.
Just to
phones
qualify.
away. Phones where I can see them. Okay, so the tiebreaker question was, had we needed it, how many Tony Award nominations did the 2012 Broadway production receive?
The Broadway production.
Broadway production, because it needs to be on Broadway to be nominated for a Tony.
Of course it does. Silly sod. I thought it'd be an Olivia.
No, not a Toby.
They're different awards. They'll be released posthumously.
I don't think it was oddly, I don't think it was nominated for any Oliviers,
I don't think it was.
which is shocking. Right, so show me your numbers, Toby.
I went 3.
Okay,
I went for lucky 7.
I went for 5.
the answer is 7.
Ooh.
With James Corden winning Best Performance by a Lead Actor in a Play.
Wow.
It won the one, and that was the one it won. But it had Best Set Design, Best Use of Music, Best Costumes, Best Supporting Actor nominations.
But they only got one for
But only one.
Wow.
The one award for Mr. Corden. Right. Okay.
So I win on both, Toby.
I thought the question was how many did it win, which is why I said 3.
No, I said nominations.
Oh yeah.
I think I said quite clearly said nominations.
I'm sure you did say clearly. I'm absolutely in agreement with Neil on this
One
one.
step ahead and just.
But
one
also,
step ahead.
if it was win, you were still wrong.
But I'd be closest, and therefore the rightful victor.
So actually, as Darren got it bang on, he gets 50 bonus points.
Oh, there we go.
And Gryffindor wins.
Yay!
Yes.
Right, anyway, before we go, let's have a look at some of the questions that we tend to ask people all the time when they come onto the podcast. And there are a couple of new ones here as well. So from the last time you and Toby and Michelle, you were on, there are a couple of new questions in there. But as we've asked most of them to you two before, we'll have a look at Darren for some of these first. So, Darren, then, what was it that got you into the theatre initially?
I did a load at school.
Yeah.
First show I did was HMS Pinafore, back before my voice broke and I could actually sing. And then I did a really serious one called The Resistible Rise of Arturo Ui. It's a Bertolt Brecht play.
Oh, right.
And I was lucky enough to get the lead in that, and it was a fantastic role. Really evil, to the point my grandma actually walked out 15 minutes into the show because I scared her, which was quite weird. Did a fair bit of telly bits and bobs, some extra work. I did quiz shows, and then my Littman came along, and I got back into it about 8 years after meeting up with the Lisa Kreisky.
Yeah.
And she dragged me into Theatre Fest and not really stopped since then. So really enjoy it. Really
yes,
enjoy
and you've
it.
been involved in a few of those, and also with a few with stage events as well, because you were on stage earlier this year, wasn't it? No, last year.
End of last year with
Elegies, yes.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. That was such a really good show to do. Really enjoyed that. Yeah, I've done a couple of them. I did Our Day Out as well, which was really good fun. Yeah, so just really enjoying it, and now made the natural move to having a go at directing, and not sure if I'll ever do it again.
It's directing is an itch that everyone has to scratch at some point.
Yeah. And
the couple of pieces that I've done this year with both this and with the photograph in the One Act Festival, it was like, I think that itch has come back, and it's something that I need to do sometime soon. I've been meaning to do it for about 20 years, and I think it's about time I got around to doing it.
Yeah,
Michelle,
I'm like that.
have you directed, Michelle?
Yeah, I've directed 3 shows.
Was that with the Pantaloons or the Looney Pants?
2 Pantaloons and 1 Looney Pants.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Looney Pants is the adult, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, is that the way it works?
Yes.
Okay. So
Just to sort of separate the
keep
two.
the family away from the filth.
Filth, you say?
The filth, absolute.
It's a motto to live by.
So yes, that was it really. And then onwards and upwards.
Yeah, brilliant. Michelle, this is your first time with the Service Plays, isn't it? Outside of the no, it's
No,
not.
this is technically my third. So it's my second.
Of course, yes, you were in Marion, weren't you?
I was in Marion.
And then you did the One Act. So,
and then we did the One Act this year. So this is my third. This is my triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so you've had to put up with Toby twice now, haven't you?
I have.
Pure joy.
Pure joy.
They always seem to end up loving each other, which is so weird.
Well, no, because the first one, I am sort of there. When in Marion, I was the wench, so I wasn't even his betrothed or anything. A concubine. So I was sort of
at
there.
At service.
You're still swapping sweat.
Yeah. I seem to remember you were mightily impressed, though. I seem to
saw
recall
that.
that. You were mightily
If
impressed.
my eyes could roll any further into the back of my head, Darren would have had them.
Let's not talk about my location during your love scene. Thank you.
Oh yes, Darren was involved. How nice.
So anyway, moving on. What's the favourite role that you've played then, Darren?
Oh, it's got to be Wind in the Willows.
Yeah.
Stanley the cart horse. Was it Stanley?
No.
It wasn't Stanley. It was oh my God. I forgot
With the cart horse.
Off? No. I'd look it up on my phone, but I never would tell me off.
Oh no! I will get it. It was
Albert
the cart horse.
Albert.
Definitely Albert the cart horse in Wind in the Willows. He was such a fun character. He was and the audience really took to him, and he was fun to play.
Yeah,
he was such a miserable so-and-so.
They're always the best parts, those ones.
I think it was my favourite.
Yeah,
that one. That one definitely. Yeah, that was the most fun for sure.
Now that you've made that move to directing, and I think you're possibly going to stay that way. Is there anything else that's on your list that you're thinking, oh, that's something I'd really love to do?
There is one I'm desperate to do.
Yeah.
But I would need to probably wait a couple of years for that because the UK tour only finishes in September, so I'm not sure how quickly the rights would come up.
Right.
It has been done over here before in the junior version, and that's Rock of Ages.
Oh, right.
I would really, really like to get that on over here, just because it's such a feel-good 80s. It's all the music I grew up with.
Yeah.
I've seen the show in Vegas, London, and Manchester, all completely different casts, and it was excellent all the way around. And the film didn't really do the stage show justice because the story was very different.
Yeah.
The stage show's a much nicer story.
Yeah.
And better music as well.
And quite often with those kind of movies, sometimes they kind of remove some of the best bits of the stage show as well.
Yeah, they took out the whole. They took out a whole lot of music and put a whole lot of music in because fun fact, even though it's named after a Def Leppard song, they couldn't get the rights from Def Leppard for the stage show, but they got the rights for the film.
Right.
So you're in the film, like Tom Cruise sings a couple of Def Leppard songs, and in fact the introduction on the Broadway cast is David Coverdale from Whitesnake saying, don't sing any Def Leppard songs because we couldn't get the rights.
Right.
So I would really like to do that one. And I know just from the talent that's on the island as well, I've pretty much cast it in my head as well.
Excellent.
So we've got, because we are blessed over it with some real strong characters.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed from some of the musical theatre movies that have come out in recent years, there are a lot of things a lot of bits that they've taken out. I mean, when Sweeney Todd was done 15, 20 years ago now, it was not long after I did it with the Manx Operatic Society, and there were some big chunks that they'd taken out. But it wasn't until sort of sitting back and looking at it afterwards, a lot of the stuff that they'd taken out was the big ensemble stuff, which actually, I mean, is some fantastic music, but actually we realise that a lot of that stuff is there because it's a theatrical mechanism. It's there to enable the crew to change the massive set behind the curtains.
It's almost a filler.
Yeah, it's a filler, yeah, so that it gives them the time to do what they need to do behind the scenes, whereas in a film you can just go cut, and you're there.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Really good point, that.
Okay. I know this is one for all three of you. What is the strangest or funniest thing to go wrong on a stage that you've hopefully managed to keep from the audience? We might have different answers for this in 2 weeks' time.
We might. Yes, we might.
Go on, Toby, you go first.
So I've got sort of opposites for this, and that is either being on in a scene that you're not supposed to be on in.
Always interesting.
Or not being on in a scene that you are supposed to be on in.
Have you done both?
I haven't done both, but I when we did Much Ado with Parados last year, there was one particular scene where one of the main actors went on in a scene that they weren't in, and it was what I can only describe as magnificent, the way that they handled that. Walked on, thought, no, I don't remember being in this bit in rehearsals. Walked around the stage a little bit, and then very, very gracefully left the stage. As if they had meant to do that entire thing.
Walk like conviction, like you're supposed to be there.
Absolutely. And I would never mention who that was, because that would be unprofessional. Dandy Dancox.
Earlier this year in Sweeney Todd, as the Beadle Bamford, I had a whistle that I had to blow to start the shaving competition between Adolfo Pirelli and Sweeney Todd. And I walk on stage, and you know, just like you go, there's something missing, and I can't think what it is. There's something that's not quite right about what I'm doing at the moment. And I walked on stage for the start of this scene. I'm walking around just going, yes, hello, just sort of milling through the crowd. And I look down and I realised that my whistle is not pinned to my costume where it normally is. And I thought, I kind of need this whistle. And I thought, I've got a good whistle that I can do anyway. But I thought, no. And I thought, actually, I've got quite a lot of time through this scene before it gets to that bit. So I just took a little short walk around the stage, walked off, ran to my dressing room, got my whistle, put it on, waited for the appropriate moment, and then just walked back on with purpose, as if that was the way it was supposed to be. None the wiser, perfectly in time for, would the Beadle Bamford be the judge? Certainly.
So, quick note to make a note, make sure his props are left out of the dressing room.
Yes.
And then I've done the other one, which is not being on in a scene that you're supposed to be on. But kind of, in a cocky, kind of standing in the wings, thinking, God, somebody's messed up here.
And then a dawn of realisation.
I now know who that person is. It's me. And again, it's exactly the same thing. It's just conviction, isn't it? Yeah. So in that particular circumstance, I just strolled on the stage, looked around like I completely belonged there, and the rest of you are all fools. And away we go with the line.
Which play was that?
It was actually in a production of Our Day Out that we did at secondary school.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that was Mr. Briggs. And there was one scene and I was just stood in the wings, merrily thinking about, when am I on next? Now. Actually, 2 minutes ago.
How about 6 lines ago?
Yeah.
Why has it gone quiet?
Yes.
Darren, anything for you?
2. The first one, I will not name any names or shows, but somebody's mic was not turned off and they decided they had to go to the toilet.
Oh.
There's been a few of those, I'm aware.
And it wasn't a number 1.
Oh.
So that was quite an experience because, yes, not only was it not turned off, the entire audience heard his performance, which was, or her performance, his or her performance. And the other one for me was in Blackadder, whilst doing Strange Another Beadle, and just as we walked through the doors, I felt the trousers drop. And it was underneath, and I actually managed to style it out because it had a long coat over the top.
Yeah.
And I managed to get on and off with my knees literally holding my trousers apart so they didn't go all the way down.
What a professional.
I may have said a few rude words. But yeah, no, that was the only two, really.
And then he ran off to the bathroom and forgot to turn his mic off.
Similar to your first one, though, when I did West Side Story with the Manx Operatic Society back in 2001, I think it was, one character just about to come on stage stood in the wings and just let a little squeaker go. Unfortunately, his mic had just been pushed up as he let the squeaker go. Oh, so no. Everyone on stage, and presumably everyone in the audience, heard... everyone's there been trying to be deadly serious and going, did you hear that? Yeah, did you hear that?
We've all done that on stage.
I never have, and I am certain Michelle hasn't.
Then. Okay.
Michelle, anything for you?
Well, there was this one time. No.
At Bandcamp.
So one time during Frankenstein the Pantos, it was like 2010 or 2011, James Turpin was our backstage manager at the time, and he had overfilled a pyro. So it literally shook the stage. So everybody on stage is just sitting there going. And then me and Mel Reed at the time, so we were the main characters, ended up saying each other's lines. And so we're both looking at each other as if saying, I say that, why are you saying that? Okay, whatever. And we just rolled with it, and then coming off the stage going, why did that stage actually shake? That was amazing.
That sounds scary.
It was and it wasn't. It was one of them sort of kind of, did that actually just happen? Or am I trembling? And then Mel goes, no, that actually happened. All right, okay.
Yeah, back in the days of the Dick Ray Pantos at the Gaiety, Mr. Davidson at the Gaiety was rather, it happened quite often that he would overfill or overpower a pyro, and things would just boom.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then most recently in the adult panto, I was playing the baddie, and I had some absolutely killer boots on, and I'd been so wonderfully walking. Now I can fall over a chalk line, and I was managing the whole time not to fall over. I walk on the last night, the very first scene, look at the audience, and very nearly lose my footing, and everybody goes and I just give it the bird and carry on.
Nice.
Which is what you can do as the villain.
Yeah.
I've played the villain panto many times, but obviously you can't go that far when it's a family show, but obviously you can when it's an adult panto.
You can when it's the adult panto. You can actually tell the audience where to go, and it is so invigorating.
And when's the next one?
It's great. That'll be next year.
Do we know what next year's going to be yet?
No, we've not. We're planning the family panto now, so we've pushed adult panto to the back of the brain for the time being. That'll be sort of October, November time that we...
Because they need a lot of time to make Mark Britton's outfits.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
Or lack of outfits.
Oh, no, I've just made it.
It's like, oh, look, here's a napkin.
Oh, it's a postage stamp.
Fold it in half, there's Mark's.
Mark, I'm not wearing that, it's far too big.
Right, another one of our newer questions then. Is there a new show, or maybe just a show that you've discovered recently, with a part that you'd love to play, but you can't because we're now the wrong side of 30, 40, 50. We're too old to play.
I'm not that old.
I'm not that old. I'm pretty sure
I believe
you are
too. I believe that actors are ageless. You can age up or down for any part.
Yeah, but
that's not working really.
When you're 44,
is that what your agent says?
That's what. Yeah, that's
when you're 44, you can't really play a teenager anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get away with
probably
playing
not
Matilda.
Danny Zuko.
No.
That's probably gone.
I don't know. It's too old.
Not a new show, but a show that I was thinking about a little bit the other day because I was thinking, oh, that show's amazing, and I haven't seen it in ages. Was Little Shop of Horrors, and I think I've probably gone too old now to play Seymour Krelborn.
Yeah, you're more of a mushnik these days.
I would be so about the dentist.
Yeah.
I think that's gone. I think that might be gone.
Really? I don't know. You could get away with it.
Depends how old you're.
I mean, I'm certainly evil enough.
It was, I think, the best part of that show was Steve Martin for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And the plant, obviously.
Yeah, you're stuck with Audrey too when you get to.
That's a massively physical part, though. For the actual stage show of it, there's a massively physical part to play Audrey too. Crazy. Darren?
I don't know. I mean, I can go back to Rock of Ages because I'd love to play the part of Drew in that, but A, I'd be too old, B, I can't play guitar, C, I can't sing, and D, I can't dance. So it's probably.
But those aside,
I'd be perfect.
Yeah.
No, probably,
You've got time.
Yeah, I've got time. No, I can't really think of anything that.
I mean, it doesn't have to be music. It could be a play or anything like that as well. So.
Michelle.
What, you'd like to play me? No, just Matilda. I think that like the main part of Matilda is such a charismatic little role and cheeky, mischievous, and that would just be such a lovely little role to play. But Toby.
Wasn't me.
It was your phone.
Yeah, Matilda would be if I could go back and do a role, that would be a good one.
Ashay would say, if you could turn back time.
Yeah.
Oh. So yes, it would be Danny Zuko, I think.
Danny Zuko.
Because we did Grease at school, and it was Kaniki, but I understudied Danny, but never got a chance to do it. So yeah, that would have been a nice one to do.
I did Grease in 2004. David Artis was Danny.
Really?
Yeah, and I played Sonny Latiera, and in the big famous Summer Night song, mine is the "Could you give me a friend?" and he goes doing. I had a scar in my forehead from every night that cone would get bent a little bit further back. Yeah, a little cut by the end of the run of
nice.
It's for the art, though, don't it?
It's the art, yes. It was a
for the Commedia dell'arte.
It was a 4-week run as well.
Oh,
so
was
that was a lot.
4-week run.
Yeah, we did 2 weeks of Rocky Horror and then 4 weeks of Grease.
Oh, Rocky Horror! Now there's one that we could do.
Yeah. Yes, I mean that's it. Rocky Horror is a great show, and it's a small cast as well, which is why it probably doesn't get done by any of the societies over here, because you'd be alienating 90% of your membership to do it. So
it's a shame that it's a good show.
But it's a fantastic show. I mean, it's 19 years since it was last done, so it's
what, over here?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You've got time to get in the gym as well, Neil.
I'm never going to get back to that.
No. They did it more recently in Peel.
Yeah, I was going to say more like Eddie, yes.
Did you say Shop of Horror? No, Rocky Horror. Sorry,
Rocky Horror, yeah.
That would be a fantastic one.
That really would be good fun to do.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You could pad out the cast, though, because there's plenty of ensemble scenes that you could get away with.
There's only really the Time Warp where there's a lot of ensemble. Everything else is literally just sort of...
I think you could add zombies. I think you could definitely add zombies in there.
The zombie horror picture show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just do a rewrite.
You don't have to rewrite. They can just be in there. No lines. Just groaning.
Just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay then. So let's get that onto the last one then I'm going to go with today. So this is our Spotify playlist. So back in 2020, after the big lockdown, we came up with a Spotify playlist, which was going to be our ultimate musical theatre playlist. Neil King and I, when we set it up, we each added 10 songs of our own in, just to get it started, because, who wants to listen to a playlist with 2 songs? Then since then, every guest that we've had on the podcast has added a song. Let's have a quick look. Let's see what some of the choices that we've had. So,
I recognise a few names on it.
Yeah. So Tony Eccles chose When I Grew Up from Matilda. Michelle Cain, last time round, chose From Now On. No, she didn't.
No.
I read the opposite line there. So Michelle Cain chose For Good from Wicked. If you're good, I might let you have a second one this time round as well. Jeff Pugh chose You'll Be Back from Hamilton. Chrissy Sutcliffe chose I Am What I Am from Le Cage aux Folles. And
there's a Toby Smith on there.
Yeah, Toby Smith chose Working on the Land from Martin Guerre.
Strangely, nobody else has chosen anything from Martin Guerre yet.
Oh,
it's like I'm the only person in the world who likes that show.
I can't comment because I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
Exactly, gentlemen.
Idiots.
Yeah, it never did that well, really.
It did superbly well.
Yeah,
because I went to see it every time. Every show.
All 3 shows?
All 3.
All 3 shows.
And the matinee.
And the matinee.
Free student tickets.
Hey, winning.
It helped.
So, Darren...
Apparently that is coming back, by the way.
Yeah.
We had this conversation last time.
We did, indeed, yes. Yes, it hasn't made it back yet, but,
not yet,
it's coming.
But I'm still,
coming.
if you believe,
you
can make it happen.
Okay.
Maybe Darren can direct that one next year.
No.
Maybe. Darren, okay, what song would you like to add and why?
I'm stuck between 2.
Okay.
So, one of them's a very traditional musical theatre song, and one's a medley from Rock of Ages.
Okay.
So, I'll say both, and you select one. That's the thing about it. So, the first one is from Chess.
Ooh.
I know him so well. That was one of the first songs I remember hearing as a kid and thinking, that's from a stage show, so musicals must be good. Just Elaine Page and Barbara Dixon's version was phenomenal.
Mm.
Saw it recently as well at one of the do's at the Villa. I think it was Lisa Kreisky and Chrissy Sutcliffe did it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That was really good as well. And then from Rock of Ages, there's a medley of Heaven by Damn Yankees, To Be With You from Mr. Big, and More Than Words from Extreme. And the original cast recording from the Broadway show is the version that's on Spotify. So I let you choose from one of those two.
Okay.
Because I don't want to.
And why specifically those two?
They were all songs that I remember from the 80s
Yeah.
for various reasons. I remember buying the Mr. Big album just because it had the coolest train crash on the front, and that was the first song on it.
Yeah.
And for a ballad to be the first song on a rock album was unusual. Extreme More Than Words was just a beautiful song.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. Just acoustic guitar, voices, and yeah, it was lovely. And Heaven by Damn Yankees was one of the first ones I saw on Headbangers Ball when we first got access to MTV. And it was just such a weird video, but the song was so beautiful. The video and the song just didn't go together, but I just loved the song.
Yeah.
So seeing those three put together in a medley, sung by various characters in the show, yeah, it's my favourite one on the soundtrack by a long way.
Excellent.
So yeah, so toss up between those two.
Marvellous. So, Michelle, do you want to add a second one on?
Go on then. The song that goes like this from Spamalot, the Monty Python. It's just so comical. I love it. I laugh every time I hear it. And the first time I ever actually remember hearing it was during when we were auditioning for Rapunzel back in 2017.
Yeah.
That was honestly the first time I'd ever heard, and I thought, oh, this is absolutely genius. What's this from? And I was like, how have you never heard this song before? And since then I've heard it, obviously a few times and seen it performed several times. And yeah,
did you see the DCU's version?
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, that show.
It was brilliant, and it puts a smile on your face.
What better song to choose than that?
Exactly.
Toby Murray?
Well, one of my recent absolute favourite shows is obviously Back to the Future.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
And probably the best, most memorable track from that is the first track the first song in the second act, which is called Future Boy. But then I also just had a very quick look through the list, and I realised there wasn't anything in there from Oklahoma.
Oh.
Which is unforgivable, really. If I was going to choose a number from that, I'd be choosing The Farmer and the Cowman.
Ooh.
I love that song.
So which is going to be then? Future Boy or Farmer of the Cowman?
I think it's going to be Future Boy.
Okay. Right, we'll have to wait until someone else picks something from Oklahoma then.
Someone should.
Yes. Okay, great. Brilliant. Right then, that then brings us to the end, people. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having us.
So, One Man, Two Guvnors then at the Gaiety Theatre from the 22nd to the 24th of June, 7:30pm, with a bonus matinee performance on the 24th of June at 2:30pm. If you've not done so already, make sure you get your tickets from villagaiety.com or by calling 600 555 or visiting the Welcome Centre or the Villa Gaiety box office. Toby, Michelle, Darren, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all at rehearsals tonight.
See you later.
Bye.
You're listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
I'll Listen, the charity that supports young people's mental health, are staging a concert called Young Stars of Man at the Gaiety Theatre on the 27th of July. The concert will feature some of the best up-and-coming youth talent in the island, including the current Young Actor of Man, Young Singer of Man, the Youth Bard, Guild winners and Emily Jackson and Joseph Delaney, who are the current UK juvenile classical sequence champions, amongst many, many others. This proves to be a great evening's entertainment, and it's supporting a very worthy charity. The Douglas Choral Union will be holding their auditions for their 2024 production of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Evita on the weekend of the 30th of June to the 2nd of July. Check out their Facebook page for details of how to register and what parts are available. The DCU Choir, which formed after last year's production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, will be performing 2 summer concerts on Saturday 15th of July at 7:30pm at St Peter's Church in Onken and on Sunday 16th of July at 2:30pm at the Erin Arts Centre. Details on how to get tickets are available on their Facebook page. I've also shared this post on Facebook, so you'll be able to find it there and have a look at that too. The Manx Operatic Society have issued a save-the-date notice for the auditions for their 2024 production of Oliver. Auditions for Fagin and Nancy will be held on the 23rd of July, the 1st of September for adult principal roles, the 2nd of September for all children's roles, and the 3rd of September for adult ensemble and any callbacks that are required. Registration information will be issued on their Facebook page very, very shortly. Your Facebook feed is probably filled with lots of pictures of half-naked men at the moment because Two Feathers Productions are staging a musical version of The Full Monty at the Gaiety Theatre from the 15th to the 22nd of July. We should hopefully have a chat with a few members of the cast, preferably fully clothed, in a forthcoming episode. Then, as the summer hits full swing, Taylorian Productions are back on stage with Kinky Boots the musical. They also have recently announced that the lead role of Lola will be played by West End actor Nicholas McLean, who, until very recently, was playing the role of Bock in Wicked. Once again, on the middle Sunday of their 2-week run, Taylorian are presenting Sunday Night at the Gaiety, which will be a variety show involving performances of songs from some of your favourite musicals performed by some of the island's best performers and me. Well, with that, we bring episode 46 to a close. Thanks once again to Toby, Michelle and Darren for joining me today on the podcast. We wish them and everyone involved for the Service Plays production of One Man, Two Guvnors all the very best. Remember to go and book your tickets by visiting the Villa Gaiety box office, the Welcome Centre, villagaiety.com or by calling 600 555. Remember to like and follow our social media pages to get notifications of upcoming episodes and events. Don't forget, check out our Spotify playlist by searching for Manx Theatre Podcast, and that's all one word. There's almost 80 tracks there and over 5 hours of show tunes there to satisfy your musical theatre needs. If you have any events you'd like us to talk about or promote on a future episode, you can contact us through our social media accounts or by email to manxtheatrepodcast@gmail.com. All that remains is to say thanks for listening, and I hope you join me again next time. I've been Neil Callin, and you've been listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast. Goodbye.
The Manx Theatre Podcast, taking a look behind the scenes of Manx Theatre.
Than actors alive for me.